How's it going, everyone? Drew the Nostalgia Main here. Before we get the video started, I just want to give a quick thanks to you guys for helping this channel reach over 250 subscribers. That's a quarter of the way to becoming a YouTube partner, so thank you so much for all your likes and subscriptions. So on Wednesday night, Nintendo announced a new Loftwing and Zelda Amiibo to go along with the release of Skyward Sword HD this July. This figure does look pretty amazing, and honestly, I have nothing against those who strictly want something pretty to put on their shelf, for a lot less than other similar products. I own a King K. Rool and Banjo-Kazooie Amiibo, and I haven't used them for their actual Smash functionality. At the same time, I also still had the same core experience with Smash Ultimate whether or not I owned them. In this case, they unlock a nifty little side feature that I personally don't have an interest in right now. I can't, however, say the same thing about the features of this newly announced Amiibo. I personally feel like I'll have less of a quality experience with Skyward Sword if I don't buy it, plus the extra large price tag makes this feel like another example of Nintendo's recent kind of anti-consumer practices, like the ones they pulled last December, which everyone then forgot about after the Sephiroth reveal at the Game Awards. To put things in perspective, Skyward Sword is already almost a decade old and is being sold for a full retail price at $60. That itself is not necessarily a bad thing if the game is upgraded with substantial improvements beyond the 60 FPS and updated control options we already know about. If Nintendo were to address more of the game's flaws and fix them, that'll make everyone feel better about the price tag. One of the main points of criticism about the game is its travel system. In the original Wii release, and now seemingly by default in the new HD release, you travel from the surface to the sky via these bird statues. You then take care of whatever business you need to in the sky world, fly back to the surface portal, and then descend back to that same bird statue. If all you're wanting to do is pick up some needed supplies and then return to the surface, this is a surprisingly time-taking process that we usually don't see in most Zelda titles. Now it seems Nintendo has recognized this criticism, and they have taken their gracious time and resources to add a new quality of life improvement that allows you to warp from anywhere on the surface and then back again to that exact same spot at any time. This sounds like an excellent way to buff up and justify this $60 price tag, because by golly, we want it to be worth it. But no, that's not what Nintendo did. They decided to lock this simple game-improving function behind the Loftwing Zelda Amiibo. And not only that, it's an extra pricey one at $24.99 USD. My initial gut reaction to this was wondering if Nintendo had simply gone, "Start reading, totally blinking just!" I mean, I just don't get what they're thinking. They presumably want this game to sell well, which it probably will anyway, and they want people to be comfortable with a $60 price tag. But they're kind of making us feel we have to pay at least $85 for a basic feature that feels like it should be included at no extra charge. Amiibos shouldn't be used for essential quality of life improvements that actually make the game substantially better. They're supposed to be for extra fluff and OP features such as refilling your arrows. Now, even if I was okay paying $25 for this admittedly great feature, the actual mechanics of using the Amiibo for this convenience are just way too cumbersome.
Are you ready to warp?
Well, gosh darn it, Mr. Warpstone, I left my Amiibo in the R-Wing. Warping is such a commonly used in-game feature that having to pull out an Amiibo every single time makes it feel not so worth it. Now, Nintendo will probably not take any action to address these points, but there honestly is a fairly simple way they can fix it. As it is, the Amiibo warp function is arguably OP. You can be in the middle of a dungeon, break your shield, and simply warp back and forth with no consequence. If Nintendo were to limit the Amiibo functionality to just within the dungeons, but then have that same function everywhere else, the Amiibo would fit more nicely into that niche kind of power-up to help players who want that extra convenience. Again though, with all that being out of the way, I don't lay faults on anyone who still enthusiastically wants to get this Amiibo. People have different opinions on all kinds of things. It's just that I genuinely want to play Skyward Sword with this pretty cool feature, and I feel like I'm being forced to pay an extra $25 for it. And I also don't want to have to use a piece of plastic every time I want to use that feature. Nintendo I feel has messed up with this one, and I hope that they can take some much needed feedback to incorporate this feature at least partially into the base game, like with an added patch or something. That all being said, what do you guys think? Has Nintendo gone too far this time, or do you still like it for what it is? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Until next time, see ya!